Zhang Yi's foresight proved accurate when the five rival building managers Wang Chang, Wang Tianfang, Li Jian, Chen Lingyu, and Zhang Yunian attempted a sudden assault on Building 25. As they breached the perimeter, Zhang Yi, concealed behind a wall, fired his sniper rifle, stunning the intruders long enough for his forces to repel them. The attackers fled in fury, their anger simmering as they vowed retribution, while the neighborhood's daily rhythm resumed with a grim normalcy. That evening, the entire community converged on the central square, each resident armed with shovels to clear the lingering snow. The scene was strikingly peaceful, laughter echoed, strangers exchanged stories about golden retrievers and polar bears, and an elderly man gazed at a faint glimmer of sun breaking through the gray sky. Building managers, notably Wang Chang and his team, oversaw the work, yet only Li Jian toiled with a solemn expression, his focus unbroken by the surrounding merriment. Zhang Yi, clad in full protective gear, descended among the crowd, exchanging light-hearted banter with Wang Tianfang, who reminded him of promised cigarettes, and with Wang Chang, who offered to assist him with the heavy load. After a brief, jovial exchange, Zhang Yi pretended to head toward the garage, only to roar a snowmobile's engine and speed away, leaving the managers bewildered by the disappearance of his vehicle. Riding through the blizzard, Zhang Yi reflected on the irony of the harmonious tableau below, recognizing the masses as leaks whose sheer numbers could still pose a latent threat. He chose not to head for the nearby supermarket. Instead, he set his sights on the Tianhai Pearl Shopping Mall in Tianhai City, a venerable 12-story complex known for its cheap goods and embedded in the snow. Upon arrival, he shattered a window with a crowbar, bypassed the cluttered retail spaces, and made a beeline for the veterinary clinic tucked within the mall. Inside, he smashed the clinic's glass doors and rifled through the medicine cabinets, seeking a weapon more discreet than conventional poisons. He secured a vial of colorless, odorless rat poison, an exceptionally lethal substance that would serve his covert plans without drawing immediate suspicion. Back on the snow-laden streets, Zhang Yi vanished into the white horizon, the harmonious crowd unaware that their temporary peace was merely a stage for his next calculated move, armed now with a silent toxin that could silently eliminate rivals while preserving the facade of unity. Zhang Yi's actions in this chapter were multifaceted, driven by his strategic thinking and desire to manipulate the situation to his advantage. He began by visiting a veterinary clinic, where he acquired a substantial amount of rat poison, totaling over 30 bottles. This poison, which he stored in his alternate dimension, could potentially be used to harm or kill others, given its lethal effects. Zhang Yi's thoughts on the poison's use were calculating, considering how he could administer it without arousing suspicion, especially given the current food shortage. He noted that the poison's onset time was between 10 and 30 minutes, a detail he had specifically looked up, indicating his meticulous planning. Following his acquisition of the rat poison, Zhang Yi had an idea to collect clothes from various shops to use as fuel for future fires. He utilized his alternate dimension to store the clothes, which were primarily made of synthetic fibers that would produce thick, black smoke when burned. This plan was devised to deal with individuals who might be hiding and refusing to come out, showcasing Zhang Yi's resourcefulness and ability to think on his feet. His actions were swift, and soon he had collected clothes from dozens of shops, though he only kept what he deemed necessary for his purposes. Zhang Yi's day concluded with a trip to the Yonghui supermarket, where he acquired 300 portions of food. This was a significant amount, considering his usual daily haul was about 30 portions. He packed the food into snakeskin bags and created a makeshift sled to transport it back to the residential area. Upon his return, he distributed the food to the residents of the neighboring buildings, including his own Building 25. The distribution process was systematic, with Zhang Yi allocating the food into large plastic bags, each containing enough for 10 people. The residents were cautious, with none of the building owners present, instead sending their henchmen to collect the supplies. Despite the initial skepticism and tension, the successful distribution of food brought a sense of relief and optimism among the residents, with Zhang Yi's expression warmer than usual as he assured them of a brighter future ahead. The chapter ends on a note of cautious optimism, with the residents enjoying a more substantial meal than they had in a while, thanks to Zhang Yi's efforts. However, the underlying tensions and strategic maneuvering, particularly on Zhang Yi's part, suggest that the harmony achieved is fragile and potentially temporary. Zhang Yi's ability to provide for the community, coupled with his covert actions and plans, positions him as a central figure in the dynamics of the residential area, capable of significantly influencing the trajectory of events. As the residents look forward to the possibility of a less tense future, the reality of their situation and the challenges ahead remain complex, with Zhang Yi's leadership and the community's resilience being tested by the harsh conditions of their world. The distribution of food and the promise of a better future have momentarily unified the residents, but the memory of past conflicts and the ever-present threat of scarcity and violence linger. Zhang Yi's role in maintaining this balance is crucial, as he navigates the delicate task of keeping his community safe and fed, while also pursuing his own strategic objectives. The interplay between Zhang Yi's public persona, as a leader providing for his community, and his private thoughts and actions, reveals a complex character driven by both a desire for survival and a need for control and power. As the story unfolds, the consequences of Zhang Yi's actions, and the reactions of those around him, will continue to shape the narrative, leading to further developments in the struggle for survival and dominance in a world fraught with challenges and uncertainties. The success of the food distribution and the sense of community it fostered are significant, given the backdrop of conflict and competition that has defined the relationships between the buildings. Zhang Yi's statement about having a bright future, while met with skepticism by some, reflects a desire for a more stable and secure existence, one that is not constantly threatened by the scarcity of resources and the ever-present danger of violence. The fact that the residents were able to enjoy a more substantial meal, and the promise of future security, underscores the importance of Zhang Yi's role in maintaining harmony and providing for the community. However, the underlying dynamics and the potential for future conflict remain, setting the stage for further developments in the story. Zhang Yi's routine has settled into a calm yet purposeful rhythm. Each morning he ventures out, gathers the modest rations his network has secured, and returns to Building 25 to share the provisions with his neighbors. Back inside, he relies on the security cameras linked to his phone to scan every residence room, confirming that nothing untoward is happening and that Zhou Kor remains locked in her own quarters. Satisfied, he opens the door for her, steps into a steaming shower, and lets the hot water melt the chill that clings to his skin after a day in the frozen wasteland. The warmth loosens his tension, and he emerges feeling unusually happy, murmuring that the current uneasy peace will not last long and that once the remaining enemies are dealt with, he will seek a new life beyond the ruins. After drying himself, Zhang Yi returns to Zhou Kor's door, finding her flushed and visibly uncomfortable. He teases her about her desperate need to use the bathroom, only to hear the rush of running water as she finally relieves herself. Their exchange is lighthearted yet tinged with the underlying strain of confinement. Zhang Yi's casual sarcasm masks a deeper awareness of the psychological pressure he has placed on her. He then commands her to prepare a hearty braised pork meal, praising her as if she were a devoted wife, and watches her scurry to the kitchen with a smile, momentarily restoring a domestic normalcy amid the surrounding chaos. Meanwhile, the food parcels Zhang Yi distributes also reach the rival building managers. The Mad Wolf Gang's leader, Wang Chang, rips open his bag and discovers a coveted pack of Jinwan cigarettes, an unexpected treasure after a month of forced abstinence. The sight ignites a frenzy among his underlings, who beg for a share, but Wang Chang, aware of the scarcity, initially hesitates. He rationalizes that he forced Zhang Yi to bring the cigarettes, then begrudgingly hands them out one by one, feeling his own heart pound with a mix of resentment and relief. After the cigarettes are smoked down, he hoards the remaining half-pack, concealing it while the gang members turn their attention to the meager bread and biscuits that constitute the rest of the ration. He offers the weakest member, Sui, the first piece, a small gesture that underscores the fragile hierarchy within the gang as they cling to any semblance of normal sustenance.